Hi, my name is Emily, and this is Indie Book Reviews. Welcome back, and happy Thanksgiving to anybody who lives in the United States. Otherwise, happy Thursday to everybody else. In spirit of the holidays, I decided to read a holiday romance this week. And while it is not related to Thanksgiving at all, it is related to Christmas and the New Year. The title of the book this week is The Christmas You Crash by Piper Hale. The Christmas You Crash is a holiday hockey romance where an NHL rookie and his coach's daughter get snowed in together. But the hard part is actually when they get back into the real world. Now, I have to give a warning that this book is high spice, like level 5 out of 5 spice. I read romance whether there's spice or no spice, but I know some people do have a preference, so I just wanted to mention it. I will not be talking about the spice, I will just be talking about like the other parts of the story, but I did just want to throw that out there. That being said, we should just jump right into the ratings, starting off with writing quality at an 8 out of 10. The style of writing in The Christmas You Crash is modern and cozy and easy and quick. It's not a short book by any means, it's actually fairly long, but for a contemporary romance, it's just like really easy to read, so it didn't feel very long. That's something that I love about contemporary romances, is that, especially if I'm in the mood to read one, which I was, it's just such an easy thing to consume. It doesn't take a lot out of you, it doesn't take a whole lot of brain power, it's just like, I can read it all in like a day or two and be happy with it. Now, some of the great things that I really liked about the writing in this book were the internal thoughts of the characters. They were super important for the plot of the story, so I felt like it was done in a subtle enough way where I was able to easily follow along with the characters' thoughts, but it wasn't like a spotlight was on them and it was taking me out of the story. But I really got to understand the characters' like behaviors and reasons behind them and their inner workings just through the writing alone. And not to mention, this does kind of go into characters a little bit, but the writing was very witty and funny. It's definitely like a rom-com. There's a lot of really funny parts and scenes and one-liners. The main character, Lexi, is like the funniest, but Lexi didn't write the story, the author did. So that's definitely why I consider that like a writing quality thing over a character thing. The author was also really good at like pulling at my heartstrings. There were things that just like genuinely made me feel so much emotion just because of the way that they're written. Again, that's not a character thing or a plot. I mean, it is sort of a plot thing, but that's something I consider writing quality because it takes a special talent to pace things and order things and say things in the right way to like really pull your heartstrings. Now, onto plot, we have a 9 out of 10. The plot was really good. I think sometimes plot can get lost in romance, but the second half of the story was super plot based. That's not to say like romance isn't a plot. I just mean like besides that. Because the romance was obviously like really sweet. The first half of the book is mainly based on the romance while they're snowed in, but then it's after they snowed in that they come into this more straightforward conflict. But I think that the order of that was the right choice because it made the second half of the story mean that much more to me. So what started off as a subplot, like the romance was the main plot in the beginning, what started off as a subplot became the main plot, and it was like the whole time I was invested in it. Subplots can very easily get lost, but this one did not. It became the main focus, but it wasn't also something that I wasn't thinking about in the first part of the book. I was still very much invested in it and interested in it, while the romance is the main thing that I'm looking forward to. There was also a lot of growth over time, which is kind of what I was talking about when I was talking about the characters' thoughts and their like inner emotions. There was a lot of growth over time. I think the fact that the book was longer, it gave me more time to become more invested in every little thing, which again, it didn't feel long. It just was done right so that I could consume it fast and not lose interest, but at the same time become so invested in every little detail because there was a lot of growth over time. There was a lot of change that is not super drastic. It just sort of like happened slowly and it worked out in the end because the ending was The ending was gasp. That's all I can really say without like totally throwing it all at you. And I do just have to put in there, because it is a romance, and you will get to know that these are my two favorite tropes: forced proximity and forbidden love. They are like my favorite tropes. It just like keeps you on edge the whole time, and this book was literally based off of those two tropes, so obviously I was obsessed. I was partial to this. I'd also like to mention that this book had the best found family that I have ever read. I mean, like, found family is like everywhere. This book did it so well and like explained it so well and made me feel so like cozy and warm. So I just want to say that this book has the best found family that I have ever read. Next, we have characters, which is obviously like a major point of a romance. I have characters rated at an 8.5 out of 10. I already mentioned that Lexi, the main character, is super witty and funny and just, she's a complex character. She's a real character. She is relatable and lovable, and I think we could probably all see a little bit of ourselves in her. So overall, she's just a great, entertaining, lovable main character. Ryder Hansen, our NHL rookie, the best way that I could describe him, he is the blueprint. He is the boyfriend blueprint, and this will go into creativity as well. Ryder was literally like, he had no fault, which is kind of, I do love realistic characters and complex characters. Ryder was simply perfect, which I find refreshing in this book. I feel like I'm so used to, no, I have to talk about it in creativity. I can't talk about it now. We'll get there. But as I said, the emotional plot was like a huge part of the story. So they're all intertwined, and the characters is also, I mean, it's their feelings, but there was a lot of growth within all of the characters. I mean, even the side characters had ridiculous development. Character development, that's the word I'm looking for. Lexi's character development was really great. We could see that it was sort of a slow rolling ball with her. There's a lot of times that she reverts to like her way of thinking in the beginning of the story, but by the end of the story, there's a lot of change. But obviously the side characters meant a lot too. Two of the main side characters are Lexi's parents, and the growth with her mother is very well done, I think. Obviously, the first half of the book, there's not a lot of side characters because they are snowed in. They are forced to talk to each other because there's nobody else to talk to. The second half of the book is where all of the side characters come in and play more of a role. But the mother's role, a lot of growth, and the father's role will say a lot of development, because I can't really say growth. I will put a spoiler alert here right now if you want to like skip ahead 10 seconds. But the dad is WTF. That is literally all I can say about him. Anyway, their friend group also didn't really have their own growth, but it helped the main characters develop as well. They were there for them. They helped them sort of overcome these difficulties. So all of the sub characters had like their impact as well. Next, we're moving on to creativity, and this was a little difficult for me to figure out how to rate. This book has a lot of cliches, which is not a critique, it's just a fact. It is a snowed-in hockey holiday romance. That's just what it is, and that's not a bad thing. So I don't want to penalize it. However, it is, the creativity section is based off of stuff that I have not read before, because if I'm reading, like I've read like 80 books this year. If I'm reading 80 books, I don't want to be reading the same exact thing over and over again. I do like to have something refreshing every now and then. I was looking for this specific thing. Like I was searching for a holiday romance, like a snowed in plot. So again, like I can't penalize the author for it, you know? But also there is a comparison to other books that are like super out of this world, different. So obviously I had like a really hard time reading this one. Okay, I'm not changing it now. I thought it through. I gave it a 7 out of 10. And let me tell you the creative parts about this book. We have Ryder, who, like I said, is the blueprint. I feel like, especially in this moment in time, we are very used to the grumpy or morally gray, sort of standoffish guy. So I love to see a role model. I love to see the blueprint. Ryder is like sickeningly sweet. I mean, he is like gushy, PDA, I love my girl, and that is refreshing to me. After all of these romantasy books that I am reading where it's morally gray murderer, I'm like, it is refreshing to see a genuinely nice guy who also just has like this great funny personality, who's really comfortable and outgoing. I thought his character felt refreshing to me. Her dad, again, this is sort of a spoiler, but like it's also a review, so like I don't know what to do. I have to say this, but if you want it to be completely spoiler free and you don't want to know about her dad, then this is where you should skip forward to. The dad doesn't grow. The dad is just bad, and he doesn't grow, and I expected him to. And he didn't. And I love when my expectations are broken, okay? So that was unique, that it didn't go the way that I thought it would. And instead, he just got worse. And while it's really bad for me to like root for that, I do not condone his behavior whatsoever. But from a writing perspective and from a reader's perspective, it made it more interesting that it sort of like shocked me. So that was unique. I also really liked Ryder's nickname for Lexi, which was OTG, aka Oscar the Grouch. That's just hysterical to me. Never heard a nickname like it. I'm tired of animal nicknames. You know, we get the baby, we get the babe, whatever. Oscar? Come on. OTG is insane. He like makes this little rap too. It's hysterical. So I thought Ryder was really great, just all around. You know, the subplot with the mother as well, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't have it written down, but the subplot with the mother was also very unique. I don't think I've ever seen something like that before. So that is what we have for creativity. Last but not least, we have my overall feeling, which I have at an 8.5 out of 10. Let me give you a little bit of backstory. Piper Hale, please forgive me for saying this. I really am not trying to like say anything negative. I was unsure about publicly reviewing a book with so much spice. It is not something that I write. Like, I'll throw like a little bit of a sprinkle in it. It's not something that I write. I have obviously nothing against it. I read it. There are plenty of people who read it. I will never ever penalize based on no spice or high spice. I don't care. I personally don't care. Making a public review about it, I was nervous for whatever reason. Obviously, I decided it doesn't matter. But as I started reading it, I got nervous and I thought, even if I don't review this one, I'm gonna read it anyway in my own free time because it was good and I liked it and it was silly and I just wanted to read it. I literally couldn't help but keep picking it up. And suddenly I'm 50% of the way through the book, which is like over 200 pages. So this book decided for me that it was going to be reviewed. It could not be stopped. This book could not be stopped. The review couldn't be helped. It was just bound to happen. I just couldn't find another book that made me so excited to get back to reading it. This book just had me in its clutches and that was the way that it was. So I am happy that I decided to review it. Again, I don't think that spice level is something that should be written off, at least not on my channel. I don't care about either or, so I am going to give the viewer the option to read either or. I mean, it's all up to you anyway. So that was my overall feeling. My overall feeling was that it grabbed me and I literally couldn't help but keep reading it no matter what, which is a great feeling when you're reading a book and probably why I consumed it so quickly. Even though it's kind of long, it drew me in. It couldn't be stopped. With all of that said, the final rating of The Christmas You Crashed by Piper Hale is an 8.2 out of 10. So if you're looking for a holiday romance this season, this might be the book for you. The Snowden plot was really cute. They're adorable together. It's steamy, but also very, very sweet. So if that sounds like something you're into, you can get this book on Kindle Unlimited. There are also other books in this like series, sort of like standalones for each person in the friend group. I'm so excited to read about Griffin and Mira. I'm so excited to read about Griffin and Mira. You know I love my forbidden love. So yeah, I will have all of her information down below so that you can grab the book or give her a follow on Instagram. And I also just want to put out there that I apologize to anybody who has reached out to me with a book recommendation in the last like 4 months. I get so lost in other stuff. I just made a spreadsheet with all of my author recommendations. That way I can go through each of them and get back to you. Hopefully in a timely manner from now on. But I really appreciate everybody that watches. I would really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. It's really fun to make content out of my hobby and be able to share these books with other people and also get your input. I also love connecting with authors. So I just want to say that I'm actually really grateful. I know it is Thanksgiving. Well, not today, but it will be Thanksgiving when this comes out. So I do just want to say I'm really grateful for the 106 or 108 of you, whatever, that have subscribed. And I'm grateful for every single author that I've worked with so far. Everybody is so incredibly nice. I am so grateful for every reader, every writer. I'm grateful for every view that I get. I just think it's really fun to be able to share, and I love making connections with other people. So yeah, I guess that's that. So thank you so much again. I will see you in 2 weeks, and keep reading.